Duke beats Georgia Tech 78-70. We're not going to see Cooper Flagg, you would think, the rest of the ACC tournament. Sprains his ankle in the first half. John Shire says after the game, X-rays negative on Cooper Flagg. We don't know Flagg's status just yet. Like, is he going to be good for Duke's 116 game in the NCAA tournament? Does he miss that game? Does he play against the 8-9 winner in the second round? Do we not see him until, the Sweet 16? A lot up in the air right now with Cooper Flagg, and there are a lot of places we can take the conversation. Can Duke get to the second weekend without Flagg? But I will just, from my perspective, and even if you don't come at it from my perspective, you're like, I've loved Duke all season, right? I've been saying since November, Duke's going to win the title. Now, some of my Duke positions died when the Kansas City Chiefs died, but I still have a lot of Duke positions. Parlays running into Duke winning the national championship. When Flagg goes down with his ankle, see my life flash before my eyes. Just, is this really happening? Because it's one thing, I can accept losing, Duke, gets knocked out on the Sweet 16. Okay, Flagg's playing. He gets hurt in the first conference tournament game, and I don't get him the rest of the season. That would have been brutal. So the live market for people that were following it was crazy, right? Duke goes from plus 350 to win the title to plus 700 to win the title. And then people are like, oh, it's probably not. It's probably going to be all right. Now Duke's back where they were at plus 350 to win the championship. So, Femi, thoughts here on Cooper Flagg's ankle? Again, X-rays negative, so this seems to be good news, all things considered, because when Flagg goes down, if you've got Duke futures like I do, man, that's like a light flash before your eyes moment.
Yeah, and even when he goes down, you see he can't put any weight on that ankle being carried to the locker room. And then the next time we see him
on ESPN,
I forgot the guys that did it. It's not Billis. The Billis and those guys are at the SEC one. I don't know the guys who are doing the ACC.
Because the play-by-play guy just goes, oh no, Cooper Flagg's that. I'm just like, oh no. No.
You're just seeing it all come apart.
Anyone else
it crumble.
Actually, people say, and sometimes I'm like, it's a loser. Take my ankle, take my ACL.
Yeah.
No, take my ankle.
Maybe both.
Take it. What do I do? I sit in a chair and talk. I'm washed. I'm married. I have a kid. I'm done. I'm finished. I'm a fully baked product at this point. Take my ankles, please. Please, and win the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, give me your bum ankle. You take mine. I just sit here and we do entertainment. But literally, the next shot that we see of Cooper Flagg at halftime is him in a wheelchair. So at that point, you see the wheelchair, you're just like, whoa, what is going? On one hand, you're thinking, is this a Paul Pierce situation? On the other hand, you're like, okay, this could be really, really bad for Duke. But I do think, and it kind of goes to what Nick was saying here, I think it's going to be a little bit more positive than what we initially thought, is that the fact that Cooper Flagg was out there on the bench in the second half, I don't think they would have him out there if it was a really severe ankle injury. If it's really severe, he's maybe going to the hospital or whatever, whatever that's going on. I don't think he's out there on the court.
Shire would have looked like he wanted to hang himself. If Cooper Flagg was
and that wasn't the case. Yeah, and in fact, it was the opposite. They were down by 5 at halftime, and they came out guns blazing, boom, immediately go on a 10-0 run to start the second half. So, clearly they were energized, and obviously I'm sure they were fired up, being hey, we're not about to lose to these dudes, and all that kind of energy, but, he's not going to be sitting on the court if he has a messed up ankle to where this is going to keep him out of the entire NCAA tournament. But now where it gets interesting is that, once again, Duke is going to be a 1 seed, so I doubt we see him in the ACC tournament, but at least they get the break of playing at the Raleigh site.
Let me tell you something. If Duke makes it, if Flagg plays one more second in the ACC tournament, Doge needs to, audit Duke.
Yes. Or
we need to sick Elon Musk, and whether you hate them or we need Elon Musk sicked on Duke and John Shire if Cooper Flagg plays one more second in this tournament. He should not. He shouldn't even see. They should. Honestly, put him in bubble wrap and send him to the site of the first round. That's what needs to happen.
Cooper, we got you a private jet to Raleigh, North Carolina. I guess he can drive there. It's from Charlotte. Not that far. But drive to Raleigh.
Could you imagine he plays in an ACC tournament game? Imagine that happens.
It's insane. And they're going to play on Friday. The Raleigh games are Friday, Sunday. So they
John
do get the
Shire
extra day.
should get deported. That's what should happen.
Yes. He should not play, which also might set up, which we'll talk about coming up in the next segment. Maybe that sets up for a nice fallen hero bet for us tomorrow, where they play North Carolina or Wake Forest. I think that's something that could be interesting from a betting market. Oh yeah, yeah.
Carolina can nipple 500 points tomorrow.
And it'll be a Carolina team that if they win, they're likely in the tournament. That'd be the quad 1 win that they need. So this could be a big break for Carolina, but
as much if Flagg doesn't play?
I think it'll still count just because Duke has been amazing. And also it's Carolina. I think they're looking for any excuse to put Carolina in the tournament.
David Stern, we're still alive. Carolina would make the tournament.
Oh, they're a 4 seed.
Let's talk about what we've already seen today and spin it forward to tomorrow. So North Carolina just beat Wake Forest. Duke takes care of business against Georgia Tech. Does not cover. Cooper Flagg gets hurt in the game. We covered it the entire first hour. Sprained ankle per John Shire, in case you missed it. We don't think we're going to see him in the ACC tournament. Our best guess is maybe he plays in the round of 32 next week, maybe not in the 116 game next Friday for Duke. But this sets up, Isaac, a spot that we really like in basketball. We call them fallen hero spots. First game without star player, bet on that team. So tomorrow is going to be Duke and Carolina. No Cooper Flagg in the game. We are excited to bet Duke. Do you have an idea or what you would set the point spread at? Duke Carolina tomorrow on a neutral, no Cooper Flagg, and an early opinion from you on that game.
I would love if it's 7.5, 6.5 range for Duke, and I'm all over Duke right there with you. I think Duke has a chance to win the shot volume game and the shot chart game against Carolina. What do I mean by that? The shot volume game, Duke is going to out-rebound them on the offensive glass, and they're going to win the turnover battle. And so they're going to get extra possessions. And then the shot chart game, if you watch the last 2 games that Duke and Carolina have played, Carolina, the only way they've stayed in it is tough contested jumpers off the bounce. That is a tough life to live. Meanwhile, Duke is generating unguarded catch and shoot threes galore and a ton of shots at the rim against a Carolina front line that still just does not stop people at the rim at all this year. So I would love to be on Duke tomorrow. If I could get a number in 7.5, 6.5 range, it's going to be hard for me to pass up Duke just because, like you said, first game without their stars, fine. And I still think this roster is extremely deep and they're just a bad matchup. Even without Flagg and even without Malik Brown, who suffered a shoulder injury, I would not expect him to play tomorrow as well. There's just so much perimeter size against this Carolina front court. And it feels like Carolina is going to have to hit 42% of their threes to stay in it. That's another area why I think, backing Duke would make sense tomorrow. Carolina's had phenomenal 3-point variance luck on their side for about the past month. They're shooting like 42% from 3 in that same time frame. Their opponents are shooting like 31% from 3. That's an 11% gap. That's not sustainable at all. The national average around 2 or 3%. I would be on Duke tomorrow.